earlier today, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, took to his social media to formally call out fellow Brit Anthony Joshua for an all-British WBC heavyweight title fight in December. Now, I have an article here that has the transcript for the video that Tyson Fury uploaded, and I'm going to read some quotes from Tyson Fury himself. So starting with Tyson Fury here, aka the Gypsy King, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, as you can tell. I think you all heard that I'm going to be fighting soon, within the next few months. I think before I announce an opponent, I need to do this just in case. Anthony Joshua, I know you just lost to Alexander Usyk and you're boutless at the moment. I'd like to give you the opportunity to fight me for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world and the lineal championship in the next few months. You're coming off a 12-round fight, so you're match fit and ready. I'm giving you a few months notice. If you're interested, I'll send you the day over and we can rumble. The Battle of Britain for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world. Let me know if you're interested. If not, I will select another opponent. Thank you very much and good night. End quote. Now, what do I make of this? Tyson Fury is a fantastic fighter. In my opinion, he is a generational type fighter. A fighter that's going to go down in history. But despite my praise for Tyson Fury and Tyson Fury's obvious accomplishments and fighting prowess in the ring, he is not a very honest man. And for those who don't know, Tyson Fury is constantly looking to gain some kind of edge, especially in terms of the public's perspective and perception of Tyson Fury in comparison to his rivals. Tyson Fury, I think it's fair to say, is probably boxing's best spin doctor. And now some people are going to wonder why I'm saying this. And I think it's quite obvious. I think that this is largely hot air from Tyson Fury because he talks about offering out Anthony Joshua for this fight in December. And I feel like this is a strategic move by Tyson Fury to once again get that public perception on his side, because he is now he's now called out Anthony Joshua. He's offered him out for a fight in December. If Anthony Joshua declines this offer, which I think is damn near inevitable, Tyson Fury now has ammunition, and him and his diehard fans can say, see, I offered out Anthony Joshua, neither of us had opponents. I asked him, I gave him an opportunity to fight for my title. He declined it. He's clearly ducked me. That I can just see that from a country mile away. It's so obvious that that's what Tyson Fury is looking to do. And once again, Tyson Fury is a fighter who, as I say, he's a spin doctor. He loves to get that. He likes to shape and manipulate the public's perception of him and his rivals. Of course, make himself look better, make his rivals look worse. And I can understand, like, if we look at it in a vacuum, which many people are going to do, I can assure you of that, they're going to see, okay, Tyson Fury has no opponent. Anthony Joshua has no opponent. Anthony Joshua's team, or Eddie Hearn on behalf of Anthony Joshua, came out last week or a few days ago saying that Anthony Joshua is penciled in to fight in December. And okay, so Anthony Joshua's fighting in December anyway. So if he doesn't fight if he doesn't fight Tyson Fury, it's a duck. Well, you may say that, but then Eddie Hearn specifically said Anthony Joshua will be fighting a lower level heavyweight, a top 15 contender. And now people are going to say, oh, well, that's still a duck because Anthony Joshua's going for an easy touch rather than Tyson Fury. But then once again, we have the context of Anthony Joshua coming off the back of two grueling back-to-back losses to Alexander Usyk. And so when we start to include the context in this, you start to see, okay, if Anthony Joshua doesn't take this fight, this offer from Tyson Fury to fight in December, yeah, maybe it isn't a duck, and maybe it's actually Anthony Joshua going about and starting his rebuilding process. And so, yes, in my opinion, this is hot air from Tyson Fury, looking to get all these little edges in public perception and get this ammunition that his fanboys, his rabid fanboys, are going to use against Anthony Joshua. And I know I'm going to get Tyson Fury fanboys in the comment sections of this video. They are going to come with tooth and nail and every insult under the sun because I dare criticize and poke holes in the words of their deity, Tyson Fury. But that's how I see it. Tyson Fury, great fighter, achieves great things, has great fighting ability, but yeah, he's not particularly honest a lot of the time. And I think Tyson Fury also adds, and this is something I want to pick up on, he says to Joshua, once again, you're coming off of a 12-round fight, so you're match fit and ready. Once again, this feeds into the idea of Anthony Joshua has no excuse to turn this down. You know, I'm obviously anticipating the kind of response that Tyson Fury will have to should Anthony Joshua decline this fight, which I think is very likely. And I think Tyson Fury understands this just as well as any other fighter or someone who's involved in boxing or other sports is. And I think people don't necessarily understand this. People a lot of the time think, and even some people in the boxing fraternity, there's this notion that, okay, as long as you've fought recently, that's the best thing. Activity and all this momentum, it's going to go in your favor no matter what. And I think this is a very naive view to have. Of course, you don't want inactivity. You want some momentum. But at the end of the day, at this high level, this elite level boxing, fights are grueling. Fights take a lot out of you. And that's the fight itself. But before that, you have the training camp. So yes, Anthony Joshua has been active. He fought a couple of weeks ago. And he's fighting again in December. He's going to have that momentum. He's going to be ready. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't mean you're going to maintain the highest level of performance all year around. That is not only unrealistic, but it's detrimental. If you try and do that, and if you try and operate at the highest level of performance you can, 365 days a year, you will train yourself into the ground. You'll be in a perpetual state of overtraining. And Tyson Fury himself, I suspect he knows this because we've seen Tyson Fury enjoy some relaxation between fights, I'll say that. And because he understands that it's not just because you fought recently, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be your sharpest. How many of these fighters leave their best work in the gym and then they go into the ring slightly spent and not at their sharpest? So yeah, just something I want to pick up with Tyson Fury, because what he says, Tyson Fury says a lot of stuff to manipulate the minds of the less critical and less sharp boxing fans. So I suspect that this is Tyson Fury shaping the perception of people, as I've said many times in this video already. Also, I want to give my take on Alexander Usyk kind of delaying the Tyson Fury fight, because of course I guess you could say I've criticized Tyson Fury's words, but there are a lot of people who, off the back of Alexander Usyk, well, for those who don't know, Alexander Usyk has basically said he won't be ready in the next few months to fight Tyson Fury. And he cites his reasons being injuries that have resurfaced and that need time to recover. Also, he wants to spend time with his family because he's been ticking away and training in the gym for many months. And a lot of people, they're going to hold the stance that that's a delaying tactic by Alexander Usyk. And to be 100% fair, if you want to hold that stance, I can't criticize you for that. You don't power to you if you want to take that stance. However, providing my stance and my opinion, I'm willing to give Alexander Usyk the benefit of the doubt. Hatman spoke about this in one of his videos recently. He, like me, is going to give Alexander Usyk the benefit of the doubt because if you look at Usyk's track record, he hasn't messed around in his career. All of his most meaningful fights have happened in the backyard, essentially, of his opponent. He's gone from title shot to unification, all the way to undisputed, moved up to heavyweight, had a couple of accommodating acclamation fights to the division, went straight into fighting Joshua twice in a row. So Alexander Usyk doesn't strike me as someone who's interested in hanging around and playing he said, she said, pointing the finger, doing the spin doctor stuff. I don't think that's his game. I think he is a fighter through and through, and he just wants to give himself the best opportunity to win, of course, within the rules. And taking time out from the ring to recover. I think people forget, like, yeah, Alexander Usyk has beaten Joshua twice in a row, but neither fights were easy. You know, he still took some damage, especially in the second fight. He had to absorb a lot, especially to the body from a massive man like Anthony Joshua. So, yeah, the turnaround from August to December is kind of short, and I can understand that Alexander Usyk would want time to recover going in to a fight with Tyson Fury that really is for all the marbles. The stakes are so high at this level, but especially for the undisputed heavyweight title. So hold whatever stance you will. If you think it's a delaying tactic and a temporary duck, let's say, from Alexander Usyk, go ahead. But I'm going to consider the context of Alexander Usyk's career. He has also had injuries earlier on, where, you know, he's had bicep injuries and calf injuries and stuff like that, tissue injuries, which seem to be more frequent since he's moved up to heavyweight. So I think there is some signs of wear and tear on Usyk. He's 35 years old, so he's actually older than Tyson Fury. Because I think, is Tyson Fury the same age as Joshua, like 31? So yeah, I can understand why personally he'd want to give himself the best chance and recover as much as he can. So that's my take on this. I think Tyson Fury knows that Anthony Joshua isn't going to accept this fight, and he's going to use it as some kind of spin to say, hey, look, Anthony Joshua ducked me and people are going to run away with it. That's my take. I wonder if Anthony Joshua will actually try and catch this suspected bluff, because I suspect it is a bluff from Tyson Fury. I wonder if he's going to try and catch it. I don't know. But also, you know, to the people who are maybe newer boxing fans, they probably see a lot of the videos on YouTube on Tyson Fury and think that, why is everyone hating on Tyson Fury? Why are people constantly picking on him and, you know, dissecting what he says and not giving him any credit and this and that? Well, to these newer boxing fans who are maybe less familiar with Tyson Fury, as I said earlier in the video, he isn't the most honest man. And there's a prime example of this from a couple of months ago, where off the back of the Dillian Whyte fight, Tyson Fury said he's never going to step into a professional ring ever again. Fast forward not even 5 months, and he's already called out Derek Chisora. I believe he called out Manuel Charr. He's called out Joshua. I think there was even something with Francis Ngannou, albeit that probably wouldn't be in boxing. Who knows? But for someone who's retired, he's certainly calling out a lot of people for fights. And of course now, since the Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk fight has been and gone, Tyson Fury has confirmed that he isn't actually retired. So if you fell for the retirement thing, I'm sorry, but that says a lot about your IQ. I'll just say that. So Tyson Fury can be quite, he's not very forthcoming with the truth a lot of the time, and he does use misdirection. He does flat out tell lies. And so if you're newer to boxing and you wonder why people are so harsh on Tyson Fury, it's because he says a lot, but he doesn't always back it up. Sometimes it is just plain untrue. However, I'm waffling right now. What do you think of this? Do you think this is a legitimate offer out from Tyson Fury to Anthony Joshua, or do you, like me, think it's hot air used to shape the very malleable minds of Tyson Fury's diehard fan base and the casual boxing fraternity? Let me know in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Thanks as always for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.